Ladies and gentlemen, clearly the show of strength between Prime Minister Modi, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russia's President Vladimir Putin seems to have clearly riled up US President Donald Trump. Once again, the man is resorting to whining and targeting India. He has put out a post on social media, and I quote from Truth Social now. He says, and this is the President of the United States of America, what few people understand is that we do very little business with India, but they do a tremendous amount of business with us. In other words, they sell us massive amounts of goods, their biggest client, but we sell them very little. Trump goes on to say, until now, a totally one-sided relationship, and it has been for many decades. The reason is that India has charged us, until now, such high tariffs, the most any country, that our businesses are unable to sell into India. It has been a totally one-sided disaster. Also, India buys most of its oil and military products from Russia, very little from the US. They have now offered to cut their tariff to nothing, but it's getting late. They should have done so years ago. Just some simple facts for people to ponder on. Let me go straight across to Srinjoy, who is joining us on the broadcast. It's interesting that as this tariff standoff continues between India and the United States of America, the US president is saying they, which means India, have now offered to cut their tariffs to nothing. But it's getting very late. Is this a threat? What is this?
Well, first of all, when the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, speaks, it's always a version of the truth. You think of what he said about military expenditures. Now, India in recent times has only bought the S-400 from the Russians. On the other hand, India has bought the C-17, the C-130, the Striker, the P-8I, the M777. That's quite a lot of stuff. And the Predator, let's not forget. So Russia has sold much less to India than the Americans. That's one. Secondly, if you look at this issue about what the tariffs are going to be, that is a decision that is going to be taken by the Commerce Ministry.
Correct.
The Commerce Ministry hasn't said anything as yet. Thirdly, yes, India is buying more oil from Russia, but that's only in the last 3 years. If President Trump, who has promised to end the war in a day, let's not forget, and it's already 200 days. If the war ends today, India will probably go to the market, see who is offering a petroleum at the lowest rates and buy it from there.
Okay. So you know what with Mr. Trump is essentially saying that India has agreed to cut tariffs to zero. It's a version of the truth, much like President Trump has been repeatedly claiming that he's the one who ended the war between India and Pakistan. We are going to hear more of it. Should we be taking it very seriously? Not really. We leave it there for the moment, Srinjoy. Thank you very much. There's another piece of breaking news coming in. Outgoing